Honestly, no disappointment. Like I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so yeah, it'll be fun to watch them.
Clark certainly sounds genuine there. Maybe there's a hint of diplomacy as well. Here, Indiana coach says Clark told her, quote, "They awakened a monster." Our contributor Christine Brennan has been tracking this story for weeks. She wrote in her USA Today column, quote, "I've seen some bad team and athlete selection decisions in the 40 years I've covered the Olympics, but this is the worst by far." And then again, we probably shouldn't be surprised, as we've known for years the last amateurs left in the Olympic Games are the people running them. There is a range of opinions on this. Here, for example, is Jemele Hill. She's a contributing writer for The Atlantic. Jemele said, quote, "People need to stop panicking and putting so much weight on every single decision. The WNBA is going to have Caitlin Clark for a long time. The league isn't going to fall off a cliff if she's not on the team. And every single decision can't be about placating the optics around one player." Honestly, she went on, Caitlin Clark not being on this year's Olympics team is a good thing for her. In the span of a few weeks, she went from playing college ball to becoming a professional to having a grind of a schedule. A multi-week break probably isn't the worst thing in the world. She will eventually make an Olympic team. Well, earlier today, I spoke with Christine Brennan, and she told me why she believes the US Olympic team has got this one wrong. Why do you think she's been left off the team?
I'm working on that story, Don. I did report in my piece that's on usatoday.com out there, of course, now, that I have two sources, impeccable sources, who said that they had heard from various people that a concern was that if Caitlin was put on the team but only got a few minutes of playing time, which would be logical for a rookie on a great team that last lost in 1992, best, most dominant team in sports, what U.S. women's basketball team hasn't lost since 92. If she only got a little playing time, that all of her fans would be upset and would be, I guess, just storming the gates and on radio shows and on social media. I couldn't believe my ears that was a discussion topic in the meetings about the reaction to Caitlin Clark. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get that pinned down, but those two sources are impeccable. And I'm trying to figure out what was going on. And is it a situation where we heard chilly comments, Don, from, as we talked about, Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart at the women's Final Four? I asked Diana Taurasi's agent point blank, can you point me to anything positive she's ever said about Caitlin Clark? Never heard back, gave the agent a week to reply. And both of those women are on the team. I'm not saying that anyone in particular is doing this, but as a journalist, it is my job to try to figure out what happened. This is a huge decision. It will continue to reverberate all the way to Paris. And as a journalist, as I said, I want to see what's going on. And could it be that jealousy, rancor, anger towards Caitlin Clark and all the money she's made, and obviously a white woman in a sport that is dominated by black women? Who knows? Something potentially is going on, and I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it.
So there is a range of opinions on this, and I suppose the beauty of this story is that everybody does have an opinion. So I'd like to read you a few thoughts from Jemele Hill. She's a contributing writer for The Atlantic. She said, quote, "People need to stop panicking and putting so much weight on every single decision. The WNBA is going to have Caitlin Clark for a long time. The league isn't going to fall off a cliff if she's not on the team. And every single decision can't be about placating the optics of a round one player." She went on, "Honestly, Caitlin Clark not being on this year's Olympics team is a good thing for her. In the span of a few weeks, she went from playing college ball to becoming a professional to having a grind of a schedule. A multi-week break probably isn't the worst thing in the world. She will eventually make an Olympic team." Christine, what do you think of that perspective?
Jemele is a good friend, and I really respect her, and we've known each other for years. Obviously, the decision to take time off or not, which Caitlin will now have because she has that 4-week break, 3-4-week break, that's her decision to make. That's not USA Basketball's. USA Basketball could have put her on the team and she said, "No, I'm tired." It would never have happened, Don, but that's her call. So that's not what USA Basketball was deciding, obviously. And the bigger question and issue, I've covered the Olympics since 1984, and Jemele's been to one or two, but we know the power and the platform of the Olympic Games is unlike anything else in the world. Why did the NHL stop playing for all these various Olympics, literally shut down its season? to have all of its pros at the Winter Olympics? Why is the WNBA completely shuttering so that its 12 players can go and play in the Olympics? It's because of the forum and the opportunity to grow the game. The Dream Team, the men's Dream Team, 1992 Barcelona, changed the face of basketball around the world. Caitlin Clark is the one person who could have done that, put USA and number 22 on an Olympic basketball court, and the eyeballs would have been as extraordinary, the record-setting TV ratings, just like they've been both in college and now pro. She is a magnet for all the headlines, all the attention, and would have then, so many of her teammates would have gotten the attention that they deserve. They're usually ignored at the Olympics. I've covered it. It's tumbleweeds in the press tribune. You would have had everyone coming to watch those other players and give them their due as well. And all of this is an opportunity that's completely missed by this decision.
It is great perspective, Christine. I'm so glad you joined us on the show to discuss it. I will end with just a positive comment. The good news is we're discussing it, right? So definitely something good is happening in women's basketball and women's sports at the moment, because this conversation and everything Caitlin Clark has done so far this season really has captured the attention of so many people way beyond the sport. The conversation, of course, will continue. Christine, great to see you again. We'll do it again soon.